All right, let's dive into Arya Stark, shall we? We're going to explore her training with the Faceless Men in Bravos. We've got some excerpts from A Song of Ice and Fire to work with. But the big question we're looking at is, you know, does she really become no one?
Mhm.
Or does that Stark identity, stick with her?
Well, the really interesting thing about Arya's story is this constant pull between like this new, almost mythical
Yeah.
identity and then these really powerful experiences that, that made her who she is.
Yeah, she's trying to walk this line, right,
Hmm.
between two worlds. So we know she gets to Bravos,
Hmm.
uses Jaqen H'ghar's coin, says Valar Morghulis, right?
Yeah.
And that gets her into the House of Black and White. But that place, man, it's described as just, well, creepy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, stark, austere, faces of the dead everywhere. It's like walking into a place where death is, it's not hidden. It's right there in your face. It's almost like they're worshiping it. That's the world Arya's stepping into.
And they give her this new name, Cat of the Canals. But she's holding on to who she was, right? I mean, she keeps Needle, her sword, those memories of her family. They're still so strong.
That's the thing. The faceless men, they want you to completely forget your past. But Arya's past, it's full of trauma, loss, those things, they stay with you. So can you really just erase them?
Yeah, especially when the training itself is all about breaking you down. They make her lie, change how she looks. It's like every part of who she is, they challenge it.
It's like taking apart who you are piece by piece. Like you see it when they have her become all these different people, like Mercy, the blind beggar girl. But I think what's even more powerful is how they use blindness as a punishment when she clings to her past.
That's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about, not being able to see, right?
Right, exactly. It makes her experience the world totally differently. Everything she used to rely on sight, her sword, it's all gone. She's forced to let go of who she was, almost like a symbolic death.
Then you've got these assassination missions. And it's weird because they say these killings are for the many-faced god. It's not personal revenge,
Yeah.
right? But Arya, you can tell she's not buying it.
Like, think about the one with the thin man, right? He's just this, average insurance salesman. And Arya's got to kill him. It makes her question everything good and evil. Who deserves to die?
It's completely different from what her father, Ned Stark, believed, right? That black and white view of the world. Now she's in this place where death, it's not about justice, it's about serving this weird god.
And you see that conflict even more when she has to deal with the deserter. I mean, that scene, it brings back all these memories for her because it's like what her father did,
Yeah.
executing that Night's Watch deserter. So she's got to compare the Stark way, their honor, with how the faceless men see death,
Yeah.
cold and
It's just
detached.
such a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize, even though she's learning to be this amazing assassin, there's this part of her that'll always be connected to Winterfell, to her family.
Yeah, and Martin keeps reminding us of that with those dreams she has, the thoughts about Jon Snow, Sansa, all that's still there, even if she's trying to bury it. And then you have that scene where she runs into Nymeria again, right? Her direwolf. She's leading this whole pack, wild, free, and she won't go back with Arya. It's pretty powerful stuff, don't you think?
Oh yeah, totally heartbreaking. But it really makes you think, right? Like Nymeria is showing Arya, like, look, you can't go back to who you were.
Yeah.
That wildness, that freedom that Nymeria has. Arya, I think she's got that in her too, whether she wants to admit it or not.
Yeah, exactly. And it all goes back to that struggle, right? Can you ever really escape your past? Or does it, shape you in ways you don't even realize?
And speaking of the past, we can't forget about Arya's kill list, right? Cersei Lannister, the Mountain, Walder Frey, all those names are like this constant reminder pulling her back towards revenge.
Yeah. That list is so interesting when you think about what the faceless men teach. Like, they believe death is a gift, right? You
Mhm.
give it without any emotion, but that list, that's all emotion. It's rage, it's grief, it's like the exact opposite of what she's supposed to be learning.
It's like she's trying to live in two completely different worlds, right?
Mm.
On the one hand, she's becoming this incredible assassin. She can disappear, become no one. But then there's this list reminding her of who she is, where she came from, everything she's lost.
Yeah, and it just makes you wonder, if she can actually become no one, can she ever really let go of that list? Or is it just part of her, something that'll always be there no matter how many faces she wears?
It's really the core of her whole journey, isn't it?
Mhm.
And it's something we all struggle with in a way, right? Like, how much of who we are is because of our past? The things we've been through. Can we really change? Or are there parts of us that just, stay the same forever?
It's amazing how Arya's story, even though it's in this fantasy world, it reflects these like really human struggles, trying to figure out who you are, who you're becoming, and all these forces pulling you in different directions.
It makes you think about what trauma does to a person, too. I mean,
Yeah.
what Arya's been through, it's awful,
Yeah.
but it's also made her incredibly strong. It's like she's had to, build up these walls to survive.
Yeah.
But those same walls, they also make it harder for her to become no one.
That's a great point. Trauma, it can work both ways. It can make you close yourself off, but it also makes you adapt. I think the faceless men, in a way, they're offering her an escape from all that pain. But is that real healing? Just erasing your past? Or do you actually have to face those demons, head on?
That's the big question hanging over everything, right? Sure. And the books, they end with her training unfinished. So we're left wondering, where does she go from here? Does she become this, true faceless man, completely forget Arya Stark?
Mm-hmm.
Or does she find a way to, take all those experiences, all that pain, and use it to create a new identity, something totally unique?
And that's what Martin does so well. He doesn't give you the easy answers. He leaves you thinking, just like Arya is.
And that's why we keep coming back, right?
Oh,
We want to understand these characters, see how they deal with life, even if it's in this crazy world of dragons and magic.
totally. And with Arya, it's that constant back and forth, between this trained killer and this girl who loved her family, who fought to survive. That's what makes her so interesting, so relatable, even though she's in this fantasy world.
I mean, in a way, it's like Martin is showing us, our own struggles with identity. We may not be training to be assassins or anything, but we all wear these different masks,
Right.
right? We act differently depending on, where we are, who we're with.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We all kind of compartmentalize things, right? But Arya's situation is so extreme. It really highlights all those choices, those compromises we make.
And it's even crazier because it's all happening in this world that's totally out of control, right?
Oh.
War, betrayal, magic. It's all going on around her while she's trying to figure out who she is.
Makes you wonder, would she even be dealing with all this if things had been different? Like if she hadn't lost so much, would she have ever even gone to the faceless men?
It's like the trauma. It's both pushing her towards this path and holding her back at the same time.
Mhm.
It's why she's on this journey, but it's also left these scars that she can't just, erase no matter how hard she tries.
So it makes you ask, right? Is this faceless men thing really about healing? Or is it just a way to avoid the pain? To like bury all the stuff that's haunting you?
Right, because if it's just about forgetting the past, then is it any different from, the masks we all wear every day? Is it really freedom? Or just another way we lie to ourselves?
That's the heart of it all, isn't it? What does it actually mean to be no one? Can anyone really reach that point? Or are we all just, products of our experiences, the people we've loved, the pain we've felt?
It's like the more Arya tries to become no one, the more you see who she really is,
Yeah.
Those moments of anger, loyalty, that need for justice, they keep coming out, even though she's learning to be this master of deception.
In those moments, that's why we're rooting for her, right? Even
Yeah.
when we don't agree with her choices, we see that struggle, that inner conflict. And I think we all feel that sometimes.
Totally. And that's why her story resonates with us, right?
Mm.
It's about figuring out who you are, facing your demons, trying to find your place in a world that feels, crazy and unpredictable.
Exactly. And, whether she ends up with the faceless men or does her own thing, one thing's for sure. Arya Stark's story, it's not over yet. The choices she makes, her past, it's all going to keep affecting Martin's world.
And we get to be a part of that, right? As readers, viewers. We see her change. We wrestle with those same questions. We find our own meaning in her struggles.
It really shows how good a writer Martin is. He creates these characters that are so complex, so messed up, but so interesting. And with Arya, he's given us someone who shows what it means to be human, to struggle, to adapt, to fight for who you are, even when you're not sure who you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with those questions to think about. What does it mean to be no one? Can you ever really escape your past? And where will Arya end up? Keep those thoughts in mind, and until next time, keep diving deep.